welcome back. Hi, we're back. If you guys have not seen part one of the whole Essendon and the whole PED scandal, cheaters, I'll probably put the link in the description. Go ahead and check that out. But back with part two. We did do part one yesterday, but we gotta see what happened. Apparently, they bounced back. Yes, they were psycho when we did watch the video. The whole cheating stuff, the whole scandal. Man, look, you guys know, if you gotta cheat to win, that says a lot about you. But very, very interested to really learn about this. You would never know what your teams may be doing to get that. What your teams or a team may be doing to get an upper advantage on your opponent. But let's go and check it out. Let's go and see what it's talking about. Appreciate the love and support you guys show with the videos. We that hurt. But anyway, let's go and get into the video, man. You guys know it.
If you haven't seen part one to this video, you can click the link in the description or on the card on the top right of the video. So, whilst Asada had released their findings, legally they had merely accused the players of using illegal substances and had not returned a guilty verdict, although everyone anticipated that they eventually would. The players were to front the AFL tribunal to have their guilt determined, and amazingly, on the 31st of March 2015, the tribunal announced that it had found the 34 players not guilty, almost another year on from Asada's report. Asada had not been able to prove to comfortable satisfaction that it was Thymosin Beta 4 that the players had been given. The suspensions were lifted and the players were permitted to play during the 2015 season.
Dude, the only bad thing is you are still going to have fans who did feel like they cheated. It's just the way it is. You see it. You see it all the time. You see it in baseball, American football, basketball. You see it. So yes, they got clear stuff like that. There are going to be some fans who are going to boo the shit out of them. It's as simple as that. It's that simple.
Relief for all Essendon fans who had already
Hopefully
endured
not, though.
more than they could handle. But then, it went global. Whilst Asada conceded the verdict, its parent authority WADA, standing for the World Anti-Doping Agency, announced that they would appeal the decision to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. English, Belgian and Australian barristers headed a panel in mid-November of 2015 and in January of 2016 handed down a guilty verdict, overthrowing the AFL Tribunal's decision.
God damn.
So why were the two different decisions reached?
Right.
Basically, the AFL used a chain link style of evidence, where if one link of evidence was not present, they elected that a causal link could not be drawn, and therefore the players would be found not guilty. The Court of Arbitration for Sport used a method called strands in a cable, which allows for individual links of evidence to be missing if the combination of all the other chains still presents a compelling case. One final appeal was lodged and denied, and the Essendon supplement saga, at least from a legal sense, had finally drawn to a close. All this legal discussion is pretty boring and likely confusing, but what did all these various legal bodies looking into Essendon actually find? Well, a paper trail was followed to discover that Dank had been dispensed Thymosin Beta 4, the banned substance, by Como Compounding Pharmacy in South Yarra. But it couldn't be proven that it was this exact form of thymosin that was injected into the players, and that's why the AFL returned a not guilty verdict. WADA, however, used Stephen Dank's text messages against him, citing texts he had had with members of the club administration that thymosin was what was going to assist the Bombers' soft tissue recovery. WADA concluded that Thymosin Beta 4 was the only type of thymosin that had those effects, and therefore built the case that Dank must have used that strand to inject the players.
Oh no.
Some other horrifying texts from Dank revealed requests for other drugs to assist with injuries, asking the pharmacy contact whether it had been tried on anyone, to which the pharmacist responds with, "A few dental injections, not sport." Dank responds with, "Let's test a couple players."
No.
Seemingly, Stephen Dank was using the Bombers as guinea pigs for his experiment.
Thank you. I think that's what I said yesterday. These players are basically used as like social experiments. You know what I mean? These players was basically used as like you said, guinea pigs, test dummies. That's tough. I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed. You gotta. Heck no.
Moments like some movie villain. But the players weren't at fault either. Under Dank's instruction, the players had not declared their injections anywhere on their doping control forms, meaning that they had purposely hid the fact that they were having injections from the AFL.
Oh no.
So, what's the conclusion? Well, all evidence appears to point to the idea that the Essendon players and most of the staff, including James Hird, truthfully did not know what was in the injections given to them. Despite this, the findings suggest misconduct on the part of everyone at the club except Dr. Bruce Reid. The coaching and playing group were complicit in the cover-up of the supplements even if they didn't know what was in them. It appeared to be one man's doing in bringing in this culture of cheating to a traditional and hard-working club. The lack of critical thinking and willingness to accept this stranger's shifty assistance is damning, and something everyone involved at the club in 2012 will forever regret. As for Dank, he was rightly banned from involvement with the AFL for life,
Good.
effectively from any major sport in the country.
I can't. I was gonna F Stephen Dank, bitch ass motherfucker.
Dank may have known that his activities
Cheating
at Cronulla
ass.
would be found out, and used
What
the
an
time he had while that
absolute
case was
noob.
in court to wreak havoc with peptide testing at another club. Or that may just genuinely be how he operates. Justice was not quite as sound for the man who brought Dank to the club, Dean Robinson.
Oh yeah.
Robinson seemingly was very involved in the saga, and despite being sacked by the club in early 2013 before the investigation, Robinson won a $1 million settlement against Essendon on the grounds of unfair dismissal. In a now infamous tell-all interview with Seven, Robinson claims he was privy to none of the illegality of what was being given to the players.
It was open. No one was hiding anything, because we didn't think we were doing anything wrong.
Robinson blames the entire program on the club, and particularly James Hird and sports administrator Danny Corcoran. The financial hardship was not over for the Bombers. Not only did WorkSafe fine the Bombers $200,000 for poor workplace conduct, but they also had to settle a number of compensation deals on the grounds of loss of earnings and mental anguish. The Bombers operated at a $9.8 million loss for that year, but possibly the saddest consequence of the entire saga was Jobe Watson, captain of the club, who voluntarily handed his Brownlow medal back to the AFL, conceding that it was not rightfully his.
Respect.
Speaking subjectively, however, Jobe Watson
Respect.
did deserve that medal for his play in the 2012 season. Easily the best and fairest player that season despite a possible chemical advantage. Watson was particularly gutted, but did the right thing, presuming his medal would inevitably be stripped anyway. All in all, the Essendon supplement saga appeared to be the doing of one man with a few helpers, and the oblivious complacency of an entire club whose operations and methods would be promptly shaken up following the controversy. The general love for the playing group was not lost by fans, with membership sales actually trending positively. The consensus was that, although complicit, the players and coaching staff didn't really know what was truly in the injections, and the general AFL public were largely sympathetic to the playing group following their suspension.
Okay, that's good though, because like you said, since the players and the coaches, especially specifically the players, I think I was thinking that as well. That I don't think the players really knew what they was taking. They were just going off what what Dank or the doctor that were just giving them. So it's I was only thinking about just what the opposing fans will possibly say, listen, it is good to see the loyal fans still with them, still cheering them on. Go Bombers, yeah.
To the Bombers' credit, they recovered from this insane saga exceptionally well for some more finals appearances in 2017 and 2019. This is partly due to the loyalty shown by the players that were still at the club. Even after such an ordeal, 10 of the 12 players still listed at Essendon re-signed for season 2017. See, because Essendon breached the players' contracts by conducting the injections, the Bombers were free to walk to any other clubs as free agents because their
Right.
contracts were essentially void.
Right.
The fact that only 2 active players chose to exercise that option is proof that despite all, the culture at Essendon was still undeniably strong.
It's supposed to go through
Whilst a number of those players were nearing the end of their careers, there were quite a few who still had the prospect of impacting the side for years to come, some of whom are still mainstays in the current Essendon lineup. Heppel, Bell Chambers, Hooker, Hurley. Being forcefully bad in 2016 also allowed for a healthy trip to the draft, picking up Andrew McGrath and Jordan Ridley. But in a sense, the 2016 season for the Bombers, despite just tallying 3 wins, allowed for the rapid acceleration of realised potential in the Bombers' younger group, based on the fact that their young players were thrust into leadership roles and forced to contend with the game's best with little to no senior core. For some players, that's a realization they aren't ready for, and they fall into obscurity. But for a lot of the new generation
Anthony.
baby bombers, it was nothing but beneficial. Zach Merritt, Joe Danaher, Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody off the rookie list,
Tip
whoever
and
that is,
Woody.
Darcy Parish, all possibly wouldn't be the players they were if the rest of the Bombers playing group was still playing. Another element of the Bombers' recovery that worked nicely for them was that despite paying out many of their banned players, their above-board salary cap was quite benefited by the loss of several players. Signing and trading Dylan Shield, Jake Stringer, Devin Smith, Adam Sard and Jacob Townsend, among others, were critical lineup measures that balanced and created a competitive, fast-moving, slick outfit. Although they haven't yet capitalised on their refreshed lineup, their list is strong considering all the adversity they faced over the infamous supplement saga. Best assessments suggest that Essendon's list in 2012 was over the hill as far as genuine contention is concerned in a competitive era of footy. Not to say that the injection regime was good for the club because financially they are still yet to recover.
Yeah, they lost a lot of
But
money.
certainly a rejuvenation in the Bombers list as a result of some opportunities the club couldn't have gotten otherwise means that the club as a whole is in good stead. And if anything, the cultural review and lessons learned from the darkest patch in Essendon's history could set them up well for years to come. The competition has largely treated the affair as a flash in the pan, and almost a decade on, it seems that the AFL world has forgiven the Bombers for the affair. Despite this, the portions of the game's history that are often most interesting to look at are also the most infamous, and a look into the Bombers supplement saga demonstrates how volatile the reputation of sport is, and how easy it is to tarnish a club's standing, and a testament to the fortitude of that club and a playing group to come out of the other side. But it was, and always will remain to be, the scandal that broke the AFL.
It is good to see Essendon, continuing to do well after that, and to have only 2 players to leave and like the rest of them, staying. Like he said, that just shows the commitment, and it shows, hey, we're gonna fight for you. You know what I mean? We love this club, we love this team, whatever. We love the fans. We're gonna continue to fight. Like I said, I don't condone cheating, stuff like that, but it was good to see. It was, and it seemed like yes, they did get hurt financially, but it seemed like the years after that they would still continue to go back performing well. So that's good to see. Not G apart, but them recovering. But hey, the scandal that broke the AFL, part 2. You guys don't get like and sub. Comment down below your thoughts and reactions. Let's see you guys later.